Good evening, this is Brass Tacks. I'm Zaka Jacob. Parliament has been washed out for the opening week of the monsoon session over the issue of Manipur. The opposition is insistent that the Prime Minister has to make a statement on the floor of the House, and the government for its part says that the Home Minister, under whom all law and order folds into, is willing to start the debate, take the opposition's tough questions, at least allow the debate to happen. Now, this is in the context of a team of India MPs from the opposition alliance, who will be going to Manipur tomorrow as well as day after. The question then is, Parliament seems to be headed for a washout. The situation on the ground is slowly but surely coming back to a semblance of normalcy and peace. But what is the way out of this quagmire?
Weeks of violence in Manipur triggered a major political firestorm in Parliament as the chaos in the conflict-hit state united the India alliance, disrupting both houses. The opposition demands that Prime Minister Modi must face them in Parliament, even pushing a no-trust motion. The government says it is not running away from a debate, but the opposition's agenda is purely political.
176 रूल के अंतर्गत मणिपुर पे चर्चा ऑलरेडी सरकार ने सहमति दे दी है. उसके लिए तुरंत करने के लिए हम तैयार हैं. हम चाहते हैं कि विपक्षी दल रोज डिस्टर्ब करने के बदले अच्छी तरीके से इसकी चर्चा हो, इस गंभीर विषय के ऊपर पूरी चर्चा हो.
मणिपुर में जो कुछ हो रहा है वो सरकार करा रही है. अगर सरकार की जानकारी में था उसके बाद भी वो घटनाएं हो रही हैं, और जिस तरह की तस्वीरें आ रही हैं, जिस तरह की खबरें आ रही हैं, और वही कारण बन रहा है कि प्रधानमंत्री जी या बीजेपी के लोग फेस नहीं कर पा रहे लोकसभा.
Meanwhile, the government continues to push for peace. CNN News 18 has accessed the government status report submitted in the top court, where it states the video case will be handed over to the CBI. The government recommends a trial in another state. The centre is speaking with both communities. Talks for peace are at an advanced stage. No death has been reported since the 18th of July. Violence continues in Manipur, but at a small scale. There is a buffer of 35,000 Central Forces personnel. The man who shot the video has been arrested. There is an adequate supply of essentials to Manipur. Migrants from Myanmar are being tracked, and the centre will boost border fencing. Back in June, Rahul Gandhi visited Manipur, but he was stopped over security concerns. Now, amid the political storm, members of the India alliance will go to Manipur.
आज इंडिया पार्टीज की बैठक में वो तय हुआ कि एक डेलीगेशन विपक्षी पार्टियों का, इंडिया पार्टीज का खासकर वहां डेलीगेशन जाएगा. 20 सांसद उसमें जाएंगे. विपक्षी पार्टियों या पूरे सांसद के तरफ, पूरे पार्लियामेंट के तरफ से एक मैसेज टाइप ले जाएंगे कि हम उनके साथ खड़े हुए हैं. जो इनकी मुलाकातें होंगे, जो वहां के दुख और दर्द को जो सुनेंगे, वो गवर्नर तक भी पहुंचाएंगे. वापस आके वो पार्लियामेंट में भी अपनी बात रखने की कोशिश करेंगे.
This week saw Parliament derailed by the Manipur crisis, where the nation did not see any debates. But as the security situation remains delicate on the ground, who is putting politics above peace?
All right, full debate this Friday night on Brass Tacks. Binalakshi Nipram is the founder-director of the Manipur Women Gun Survivors Network. R.P. Singh, national spokesperson of the BJP. Mahima Singh is spokesperson of the Congress Party. Bishwajit Deb of the TMC is also joining us. Binalakshmi, let me start with you first. What is the ground situation there in Manipur? It's been 80 plus days. The government says the violence is slowly but surely abating. The last death, I believe, happened on the 18th of July. There have been 30,000 plus central paramilitary forces. The situation is coming back to a semblance of normalcy, and it's the government's contention that when that's happening on the ground, the opposition is actually being counterproductive by insisting that the Prime Minister come to the House and that he make a statement and that the debate follows his statement, because that is only further fueling the fires. What is the situation on the ground as you see it and as you hear it from people on the ground there?
Yes. First of all, the situation on the ground is still not normal. There is a semblance of normalcy within the Imphal capital region, where there is the governor's residence or the assembly. Around that area, there is some semblance of people, the school's been open and things like that. But at the periphery, Zaka, there has been heavy fighting. There was burnings happening yesterday in Moreh town bordering Myanmar, and today also there was intermittent firing happening in the last 24 hours. Having said that, again, that people continue to suffer under these circumstances. Today, the report of 27 women, children, young teenagers being, disappeared has come out. The families are asking for the retrieval. And more importantly, the coming of the opposition to Manipur. For me, for the people of Manipur, what we are seeing is this. Next year is elections. Both the Congress party was ruling Manipur for more than 15, 20 years. The BJP has been ruling for the last 9 years. For us, for the people of Manipur, we have lost faith in different political parties because the close alliance of people in politics, armed insurgent groups, drug traffickers, and criminals. This is what has really destroyed Manipur in the last 50 to 60 years. For us, it is not just about this political party or that political party.
Okay.
But political parties in general have failed to ensure the protection of one of the most beautiful and important geostrategic states of our country, Manipur. Manipuris have been defending the most easternmost boundary of our nation. But right now, Manipur is made to turn into a battleground. So this for us is a national security issue, and it's incumbent on all the political parties to ensure that they stop their blame game and ensure that they work with the people of Manipur, with both the hills and the valley, to talk about a way towards a peace process, which will ensure that 3.3 million Manipuris
of the BJP this,
get our
that
lives
Bina Lakshmi has a point, when she says that this is a border state, this is a national security issue. Yes, the violence may have come down, but even today there are cases that are coming to the forefront, coming to light of either rape cases or missing persons back from when the violence was at a peak back in May. And what this signifies, RP Singh, and this is Bina Lakshmi and other activists, their contention, is that the state completely failed at that time. So what are you doing to revive people's confidence in a critical border state? Tomorrow the India Alliance MPs are going to be there, but how many people from the BJP have gone to Manipur? RP Singh.
Well, Zaka, first let me on behalf of the nation, apologize to the ma'am that all what they are suffering. We all are very sorry for it. There are no words for what has happened. We can get into reasons. She has already explained a lot of reasons behind it: the drugs, the how community clashes happen, how there's unlawful activity which is happening from across the border. I mean, we know all that, and it's not happening from last few years. It's happening from last almost 40, 50 years now. So that's one point. But issue is, Zaka, the state home minister was there for almost 20 plus days. I mean, has been there in the state itself. The home minister himself went to the state, has tried to do whatever best in the given circumstances, and that's why things are limping back to normal. I've been told that schools have started. The government employees are almost back to work, not 100%, but 70-80% government employees are also back to work. And yes, all those cases will be now taken care by the various agencies, including CBI, and then they'll be investigated by various agencies, including CBI, and ensure that whoever is at fault is booked and then taken to task. That's very clear. No one will be spared on that. Immaterial of whatever caste, color, creed, community he belongs to, he'll be booked, and because nothing is above nation and nothing is above harmony of the state. One. Secondly, as for the political part, the opposition going there, visiting there, they have all the right to do that. But I hope they will put balm, because better would have been that they would have discussed the subject in the Parliament on the invitation of the Home Minister, who is in charge of the law and order and internal security, and also in charge of the northeast states also. So better would have been that they would have discussed it in the Parliament and would have brought a joint resolution. But for them is more of a game of politics, being one upmanship that, okay, oh, Prime Minister should come and debate first, and although Prime Minister never denied that he would not interject in the debate, but
Okay.
no, first Prime Minister should start the debate, whereas it's a collective responsibility
Okay.
of the complete cabinet, and Home Minister is the face. Give me another second. Way back in 1993, I have a document from Rajya Sabha. It was a state Home Minister who answered in the Rajya Sabha. It was not the Home Minister or the Prime Minister who answered. It was, and situation was much worse than this, what is there today. But it was a state Home Minister, and if you want me to read it, I'll read it.
No, we know that
And
information.
also
So let me ask
there's
Mahima
another,
Singh this. You know, the comparison that's being made is the last time there was a massive flare-up in Manipur. I think at that time it was between the Nagas and the Kukis. It was the junior Home Minister at that time, Mr. Rajesh Pilot, in 1993, who responded in Parliament and who also, I think, spent about 3 or 3.5 hours in Manipur. Now, the point is, compared to that, the current Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, has been there for 3 days. The Minister of State for Home, Mr. Nityanand Rai, was there for 22 days. The point is, the government is saying the situation on the ground is slowly but surely coming back to normal, but the opposition is hell-bent with its insistence that in Parliament the Prime Minister has to speak, he has to make a statement, the debate will only follow thereafter. You are only giving a handle to those elements who want to further foment the fires in Manipur. How do you respond to that, ma'am?
जय हिंद। तुम्हारी फाइलों में गांव का मौसम गुलाबी है, मगर ये आंकड़े झूठे हैं, ये दावा किताबी है। To the BJP that is just boasting false facts here and elsewhere, I have to say, and to all the viewers, I have to say that 2 days ago, Honorable Chief Justice of India, in one of his very important orders of the day, called out the government, called out the BJP government when he said, you go on appointing committees till you get a favorable order. Zaka, one such committee was formed in Manipur also. One such committee was appointed in Manipur after the HM's Home Minister's visit on the 29th of May, which was as it is much late in the day. And in that committee, most of the appointees were unaware that they were appointed. Many of the appointees recused themselves for various reasons. Some of them cited that the government was too late in acting upon the scenario. And the governor herself, who was presiding over that committee, we heard her outcry on one of the national channels last week when she said that the central government has been apprised of the facts here and that I have not seen such violence in my life ever, and that now it is, in your hands, whatever is to be done. So that is the state of affairs. Now going forward, Zaka, the plight of the BJP MLAs is for everybody to see in Manipur. One MLA tells us that it is the central government and the state government fanning the flames of violence there. Another MLA is admitted in one of Delhi hospitals paralyzed. Has he been visited by the PM or the Home Minister or even a small worker of the BJP? And 9 BJP MLAs came to Delhi, called upon the Prime Minister. What? Stop the Prime Minister from meeting them? I mean, he goes on, state hopping and country hopping. Are we not paying enough taxes for him to visit Manipur? That is what we are asking. Infructuous efforts by the Prime Minister are being managed in the headlines by this government. Whereas the people of India are awaiting just one headline.
One simple question. Here, give me 10 seconds. One simple question that the government is asking, both at the center and the state, is if you're really interested in the situation in Manipur, and I'm the first one to say that the government did not do a particularly great job of the situation in Manipur, but if you're really interested about the plight of the people there in Manipur, you should start a debate in Parliament. You should ask the tough questions to the Home Minister, which the government says it's ready to face. Instead, by insisting that the Prime Minister has to come and the Prime Minister has to make a statement and the debate will follow the Prime Minister's statement, I'm not sure, A, which rule book, which rule of Parliament allows that, and B, more importantly, the whole importance, the whole purpose then seems to be to get Mr. Modi to make a statement rather than the real plight of the people in Manipur.
It's a very relevant question. Please let me answer. They order a CBI inquiry into what made the video go viral, but not into How are 4,500 arms taken away from under the watch of the security forces? One MLA has accused that they were presented to the people. There are questions that the government has to answer. There is nothing that the opposition has to hide. You are asking me if we are interested. We are interested. That's why we have been doing press conferences after press conferences. We have been sending delegations. One such delegation is going tomorrow. We are the ones who are asking for a discussion and debate under 267, wherein the government, which is managing the headlines telling that the PM is taking updates in 3 hours, that he's so concerned, in a detailed discussion under 267, they will have ample opportunity to tell the country about everything that they are doing.
Okay.
176
RP Singh, quick response, and then I need to go to Vishwajit Dev because he's been waiting very patiently for the last 10 minutes or so. RP Singh, point that the opposition is making is twofold. One, if you really care about Manipur, why are you shying away from a debate in Parliament? Why are you shying away from the Prime Minister making a statement in Parliament? And more importantly, even the governor, who's supposed to be non-partisan, constitutional head, so on and so forth, even she has come forth and said that the state machinery has failed, that the law and order of the state has failed. Respond to that, please. Excuse me.
Well, Zaka, let me answer your second question, more relevant question first. Yes, we are accepting there has been a problem with the state machinery, and then now the CBI inquiry will let us know what is the real reason and then who are all people and how things have shaped up and how things have happened. But after that, the state machinery has also geared up and ensured that there should be some peace there, and then more than 30,000 plus security forces are now there on ground also, we know that. And they have been there almost 2 months now. So it's being worked out that how can we get peace to the state. But the concern of the opposition as for the first part, which says that Prime Minister should speak first. When Home Minister speaks, he speaks from the collective responsibility of the cabinet. He is not only Home Minister, he represents the complete cabinet, and whenever he speak whatever Prime Minister will also speak in the Parliament. And Prime Minister never said that he will never speak in the Parliament. I mean, had the debate on, and then if there was a need for Prime Minister to interject and intervene and answer, he would have, and certain questions which are pertinent questions which are raised about to the Prime Minister, he would have answered those. But they don't want debate. The Rule 176 or 267, I appreciate before the debate gets over, ask your research team to give you detail what are the references of Section 267, Rule 267 also. That will make them understand that, I mean, they are just doing a bluff to the people.
Okay, so
they don't want to do debate,
two
they
things.
want to create ruckus
If one second, let me ask Vishwajit Dev, he's been waiting very patiently. Mr. Dev, if you really care about the plight of the people of Manipur, it doesn't matter what rule this debate happens, it doesn't matter who in the government is responding to the debate, Home Minister is responding, Prime Minister is responding, whoever else is responding. I mean, the point is that the debate on Manipur happens in Parliament, and that the government of the day, both at the centre and the state, is put on the mat for their inept handling of what happened in Manipur. Is the opposition more interested in the semantics of this debate rather than the fact that this debate takes place or not? That the Prime Minister has to address, and that XYZ has to say this, and that ABC has to say that. Is the opposition more interested in the semantics around what's happening in Manipur rather than actually assuaging the pain that the people there have felt over the last 3 months?
Well, the Prime Minister is the leader of the House, and being the leader of the House, he is accountable to the Parliament. So he has to make a statement on this very important issue. That was the demand which was placed by the entire opposition, the Team India, and it was a very legitimate demand that the Prime Minister should come forward and say that exactly what are the steps have been taken by the government to control the situation there, what the government has done to control the situation there, and why, till date, after the failure of the law and order situation which has been admitted by the governor of the state, why this particular government has not been removed, why Article 356 has not been imposed, why Article 355 has not been imposed. They talk about Article 355 and 356 for West Bengal. So after 150 people have died in Manipur, why there is not a 356 or 355 in Manipur? And why after the decision made by the Team India, that they want to visit Manipur, then only the CBI inquiry has been ordered. Why this CBI inquiry or whatever it is has not been ordered earlier?
Okay.
Why has the government waken up after such a long time? And we know what happens to a CBI inquiry. The outcome of the CBI inquiry is very well known to the people of India. Now the thing is this, we want to know that whether actually the government is seriously interested to solve this situation or not. But from the role of the government, from the attitude of the government, it is very clear that the government doesn't want to solve this particular problem. The government is not serious to solve this particular problem.
Okay.
And that is why
both
there
Beena
is
Lakshmi as
no
well as RP
initiative
Singh want to
on the
respond
part
to
of the
you.
Prime
Let me
Minister
ask Beena Lakshmi to
come
go first
forward,
and then RP Singh.
to come
Beena Lakshmi.
forward and make a statement in the
Yeah,
floor of the
so
House.
Bishwajit Dev is saying at the end of the day, the buck stops with the leader of the House, the buck stops with the head of government, who is the Prime Minister, therefore he has to speak. Now, I'm asking that question again. Is the intent, is the ultimate objective of our honourable parliamentarians in the opposition to have a debate and put the government on the mat and hold it accountable for its behaviour towards what has been happening in Manipur? Or is it to ensure that one man and one man alone speaks because somehow they feel that if he does and when he does, they get a chance to corner him? What is more important?
I think, Zaka, first of all, yes, we were absolutely hurt that the Prime Minister haven't even said that, paid his condolences to the people of Manipur. And we are still waiting for that. But having said that, it does not stall. It shouldn't stop proceedings within the parliament. In fact, what we would like to say is that how can a country of 1.3 billion people, with all the intelligence, with all the acumen in the world, is not able to put the violence, back to normal life of 3.3 million people in Manipur? That's one thing which every Indian, every policymaker, irrespective of political parties, need to ask now. Because the Manipur conflict has been burning not from 3rd of May onwards, Saka. It's been happening for the last 50 to 60 years, number one. So the CBI, the National, NIA, the National Security Advisory Board, they must all come to find who did this conflict, who engineered this violence on 3rd of May, who did all this viraling of videos, who did all of these? Because in end, remember that we are just below China. We are sharing borders with 5 countries. There are external elements which are impinging on the Manipur conflict. Those who are indulging in drug trafficking, gun running, human trafficking are involved in destroying Manipur. One of the oldest state with a 2,000-year-old history is being destroyed right now.
Okay.
And even the 50,000 Indian Armed Forces personnel are not able to do their job. For us, this is not only a Manipur issue. I repeat, this is a national security issue.
Okay.
I was born there. I am raised there. My entire family is there. And for us, if India do not listen to us right now, all across, then if Manipur breaks, it will start the balkanization of our northeast. This is a very serious time in the history of our country. More than 2,200 people have been killed. And the data is not correct. In fact, hundreds of thousands have been killed in this conflict. Many bodies, there are mass graves. Please, this is not a question of fighting. This is a question
so
which
if RP Singh is back, I'll get him to respond. Otherwise, I want to go to Mahima Singh. RP Singh is there? No, he's not there yet. Okay, RP Singh, I think both Bishwajit Dev and you heard from Beena Lakshmi also, they're saying that more than 100 people have died, maybe over 150 have died, and it's been going on for the last 3 months, this violence. At the very least, what the government should be doing is to ask the Chief Minister to go. Why are you not asking the Chief Minister to go?
Zaka, before I answer on why the Chief Minister should not go, the TMC spokesperson, I hope the TMC spokesperson will also ensure that the delegation which is going to Manipur will also come to Calcutta also, and also look into how 2 women were undressed and then were made to march in a street.
What about your fact-finding team? I would like to ask the BJP
never interpret, sir, never interpret. This is not fair. There is a very bad habit of TMC.
Let me hold you back, please. Let me hold you back. Let RP Singh make his point and then I'll come back to you, Mr. Dev. I'll come back to you. RP Singh.
See, so no one is prepared to see the mirror. So, but coming to the issue is that I hope these same sort of people will also go to Rajasthan, where minister has to speak in the assembly and say that, oh, the condition is much worse than Manipur, and then the Rajasthan has turned to rape capital, where more than 10 less than 10-year-old girls have been raped in last few months, last 8 months, if I figure the right.
Okay.
So we know all the situation, and we know all the politics which are happening. But again, coming to the issue of Manipur, sir, this is not happening for the first time. Manipur has a history behind it. There used to be there was 139 days or plus 120 days plus lockdown not by the station, but the people in 2011. That's how the condition was. There was period in between 2004 and 14 where more than 1,000 people have been killed in the state. Still, the chief minister continued, and prime minister never visited that state also. But yes, we have to resolve this issue, and I still plead to the opposition.
Okay.
Don't play politics on it. Try to understand and try to put whatever balm we can put on the wounds.
All right, I'll give the final word to Mahima Singh. Mahima Singh, you are actually fanning the flames. You are not putting a balm on the pain felt by and the wounds felt by the people of Manipur. You're actually fanning the flame.
I will be resonating the voice of every Manipur citizen and every Indian citizen when I answer these two questions that the BJP is asking us. The BJP is saying opposition is not letting the government conduct parliament business and not letting them speak. And the other question they are saying is why only the PM? The first question, Zaka, they are saying that we are not letting them speak. You heard the farce of a performance by Ms. Irani. You saw the foul cry that she did in the parliament. Then who says that we don't let them speak? I mean, that's a specimen, speaking specimen. And another thing, they are saying that we don't let the Prime Minister speak. See, we have a legend of a Prime Minister when it comes to inaugurating everything. They do not let the respective ministers inaugurate. Prime Minister goes and inaugurates everything to the extent that the Parliament was inaugurated by not the head of the houses, which is the President of India, but by the Prime Minister himself. But when it comes to accountability and taking responsibility, the Prime Minister should be
come to Rajasthan and Bengal, ma'am.
So the question here is why, what is keeping the Prime Minister from speaking from Manipur, from talking to Manipuris, from intervening? Mohan Bhagwat can make a peace appeal, but Prime Minister cannot make a peace appeal. What a shame, what a pity that is.
Okay.
That's a slap on the face
Bishwajit
of
Deb,
the
final word. I've got to wrap up after that. Bishwajit Deb.
Let the BJP spokesperson explain that why the violence in Manipur is still continuing, why the government is unable to stop this violence. What has the government of India done to stop this violence, and what has the government of India done to take some action against the government of Manipur to stop this violence? They have done nothing. It shows that the government of India is not at all.
No, but Mr. Deb, fact of the matter is, look, I'm not for one suggesting that the violence has abated or completely stopped. Violence has come down, yes. The last death happened, I believe, on the 18th of July, after which there have been no deaths. But I'm saying that even a small instance of violence in a democracy is unacceptable. I'm with you on that. Even a small instance of violence in a democracy is unacceptable. So RP Singh, final word. I got 30 seconds to wrap up. Why have you not been able to bring the violence to a minimum? Why have you not been able to bring the violence to zero? RP Singh.
Zaka, I again plead to the opposition. I mean, way is not what they are trying to do, trying to play politics, trying to do photo ops, or try to just present one picture and not come out the composite picture. We'll still appreciate they should come in the parliament debate. Home Minister has already said. Now, since they have moved a motion there, so we have to wait for the debate. And in that debate, again, instead of pointing fingers at each other, let's try to find out a way to help people of Manipur.
Okay.
Not pointing fingers at each other, because if you point fingers, it will go back to 70s and 80s and 90s, and a lot will come out then. And I don't want that to happen.
We'll have to leave it at that.
All
I'm completely over time on this debate. I also want to thank all our other guests, Mahima Singh, Bishwajit Deb. and of course, Bina Lakshmi for joining us. We are hoping, and this is the only hope that we have as human beings, that this tragedy ends as quickly as possible. But unfortunately, the reality is it continues to unfold. It remains on the edge, the state. Normalcy is yet to come back in any full and firm fashion. CNN News 18's Kamalika Sen-Gupta gets us this latest ground report from the different border villages where there is now a de facto border between the hills and the valley, between the Meiteis and the Kukis, and this is how it is unfolding on the ground.
We are right now standing in Kangwai. This is the area which is in between. This is in the buffer zone, and in one side it's Churachandrapur and one side it's the valley. So there has been very intense firing since yesterday in this place, and there are bunkers there that side, and the security forces are this side. So continuously all through the day, intense firing took place, in which there were 5 to 6 people who were injured. 3 people have been hospitalized. That's what we are coming to know from the ground sources, and this is the reason for which more MPV. You can see that still the visuals of destruction is there, and this is basically the buffer zone as we have been showing it for a couple of times. In all the areas, there is like none of the houses are left, and this is actually the border area between two sides, and this is an area where intense firing took place yesterday. A couple of houses were also burned. That's what we are getting in from the local sources, and you can see that MBV, mine protected vehicles, are there, and now none of the vehicles are allowed to come this side because there has been, it's not an intermittent fire, but it was an intense firing all through the day, even in the night. In this area, which is very close to the Churachandpur, continuous firing took place all through the day, and you can see that all the army professionals, they are there, and you can see more MPVs coming from that side, because this is basically a zone where any time firing can take place, and it's just in between, and this is a place where any time firing takes place, and not intermittent firing, intense firing takes place, and that's why such MPVs, more MPVs are coming so that protection can be given. And in such a situation, the forces can mobilize themselves and move. So it's a very, very, very vulnerable and very sensitive area where we are standing. It's just between the hills and the valley and the actual war zone. Intermittent firing in various places is a concern area for the Unified Command in Manipur. So from CRPF, what we are getting it from the sources, more MPV, that means mine protected vehicles, have been ordered. 15 to 20 mine protected vehicles will come now. You know, behind me is such a mine protected vehicle. This type of vehicle helps when there is an intermittent firing going on, when there is a crossfire going on. Then this type of vehicle can get protection from, even if there is a firing going on from both the sides. This type of vehicle helps in that. It's a mine protected vehicle. That's what it is called. It's called MPV. So not only the CRPF, the Assam Rifles, the BSF, the police, all are having this type of vehicles in Manipur. What we are getting it from the sources, that more such vehicles have been now ordered, and they will be brought, like they are on their way. They'll come into the Manipur, because what is happening, like in Churachandrapur, between the valley and the hills, like what happened, continuously there was firing going on from several places between Churachandrapur and the valleys, between Churachandrapur and Bishnupur. Also the firing took place in More 2 days back. So actually the forces' confidence and the operation during such intermittent firing, area domination with this MPV is very much required, because this type of MPV, when there is such intermittent firing going on, the flexibility of the forces are very important point. And this MPV goes through, if there is now here there is a border between the Kukis and the Meiteis. So the intermittent firing is mostly in such bordering areas where both the communities stay, and there is this buffer zone also. But at times the intermittent firing is an area of concern. In Churachandrapur, almost 5 to 6 people are injured. I mean, in this firing in Kangwai area, which is towards hill. So foothill is a very sensitive area. 5 to 6 people, what we are getting, has been injured. 3 of them has been hospitalized, and therefore this type of MPV is very much required in this area. That's why more MPVs to come into Manipur. On Wednesday, there were more than 20 houses that were set on fire in Moreh. People from Moreh who already had left their home around May, they are now staying in relief camp. But today in Thobal, they are staging this protest because those who left their house there in Moreh, all of their houses have been set on fire, and they are sitting in this protest. They are saying that enforce more state force. They are saying that stop burning our houses. They said that compensate burn looted properties. So you can see the women, the children, the senior citizens, they are all now, they have just, this is the Thobal main road. They are sitting in this road and they are saying that they want to go back to their house. They don't want to stay in a relief camp. Would like to talk to them. ये बताइए कि आप लोगों का क्या मांग है?
हमारा जो 3 मई से हमारा घर जल करके सब सामान चोरी हो चुका है, उसी से हम लोग भाग कर आया हुआ है। 3,500 आदमी हैं। हम लोग जहाँ 11 रिलीफ कैंप पर बैठा हुआ है। हमारा जो मांग है, जो राज्य जो सिक्योरिटी फोर्स, जो IRB हो, जो कमांडो हो, एक बटालियन वहाँ रखने से अपना घर में वापस जाने के लिए हम लोग सब तैयार हैं।
आपका डिमांड क्या है?
We want to go back to our own homeland, that is at Churachandpur district, Manipur, and we don't want to stay further in this relief camp. We just want to go back to our hometown. So our present government, please take necessary action